ultimately sir, no, request po natin talaga ay ma-deport itong si Guo Wangping mula dito sa ating bansa.
So dapat managot muna siya, no, dito sa ating bansa. At bago natin ma-deport, no, dahil lumalabas hindi na siya Pilipino eh. Makakancel niya yung kanyang birth certificate, at birth certificate lang naman yung kanyang ebidensya na siya ay isang Pilipino. Pero kung makakancel na yan, babalik na siya doon sa original niyang citizenship. Yun ay Chinese dahil base sa kanyang passport kay Guo Huaping, Chinese yung kanyang citizenship.
Inilabas na ng National Bureau of Investigation ang resulta ng pagsusuri sa fingerprint ng isa pang Alice Guo na nakarehistro sa Quezon City, batay sa kinuha nitong clearance noong 2005. Ang sinasabing isa pang Alice Leal Guo ay ang pangatlong Guo na may kaparehong pangalan at birthday sa suspended mayor ng Bamban, ayon sa NBI. Base sa investigasyon, ay hindi tumugma ang fingerprint nito kay Bamban Mayor Guo at Chinese Guo Waping, kaya palaisipan ngayon kung sino ang personalidad na ito.
Yun yung sinigurado ko sa DOJ, in particular kay Yusek T, na head ng Interagency Council Against Trafficking, na kahit magkaroon ng penalty of deportation sa kanya, kapag na-convict siya on any of those cases, she will first have to serve her sentence here in the Philippines. So kumbaga, hindi lang free pass na madedeport at dun na lang niya harapin yung consequences sa kung saan bansa siya ide-deport, but she will have to face the consequences kapag mapatunay ng mga korte natin na nilabag niya ang mga batas ng ating republika.
For joining us. Medyo maraming nagulantang and there are pros and there are anti dun sa idea na maaaring gawing star witness itong si Alice Guo, because I think the reason or rationale behind is that baka siya yung linchpin dito sa mga pogo operations, not only in Bamban but in other areas as well. Can you explain to us kung bakit po ninyo naisip yung idea na maging star witness itong si Alice Guo?
Peter, ako iiwan ko na lang sa mga abogado natin sa gobyerno kung pwede siya maging star witness. Dahil yan ay technical in aspect at very legal in aspect yan. Pero naniniwala ako na si Alice Guo alam niya itong negosyo ng Pogo. At alam niya rin yung mga personalidad na involved dito sa Pogo. At alam niya rin itong mga sindikato na nag-ooperate dito sa Pogo. Dahil kung titignan natin yung mga dokumento sa Bamban, mga partner niya ay mga sindikato, may mga warrant of arrest na sa ibang bansa at iba nga nakulong na, at partner niya dito sa Bamban Pogo Hub. At natuklasan din namin sa session briefing na malaki yung perang nakukuha niya sa iba't ibang sources. At hindi lang pinag-uusapan natin dito milyon o daan milyon. Malaki ang pera, bilyon ang pera na pinag-uusapan natin. Kaya ibig sabihin meron siyang connection sa mga taong may pera. Ibig sabihin meron siyang connection sa mga taong marunong mag-operate ng ganitong Pogo. At siya ang nagbukas ng pinto para makapasok sila dito sa ating bansa. At doon sa on the case of Porac, nakita rin namin na meron din siyang meron ring ebidensya na naglilink sa kanya dito sa Porac Pogo Hub. So ang ibig sabihin, basta pagdating sa Pogo, meron siyang malalim na kinalaman pagdating dito sa mga ganitong negosyo.
Senator Win, syempre po, from a legal standpoint, I'm not a lawyer, pero ito po yung mga naririnig natin. To be a star witness or at least enter the witness protection program, dapat isa siya sa least liable or least culpable. In this particular case, do you really think na baka pwede siya mag-qualify dito?
Kaya iiwan ko yan sa ating mga abogado, no? Kung siya ay qualified. Pero para sa akin, dahil nga yung pangalan niya, front, right, and center, doon sa mga dokumento, bigyan kita ng halimbawa, Peter, doon sa case ng Bamban, siya yung nag-apply para sa letter of no objection. Yung yung utilities tulad ng tubig, internet, kuryente, lahat nasa pangalan niya. Siya rin ang nag-convert ng lupa doon sa Bamban. Kaya in my opinion and observation doon sa mga dokumento, hindi siya pwedeng maging list dahil siya yung naging facilitator nitong Pogo Hub sa Bamban. Pero alam ko rin na marami siyang alam, no? Tungkol sa personalidad. At yan ang dapat nating makuha rin sa kanya.
Senator, ako po medyo nagtataka lang kung paano mangyayari kung siya po ay magiging star witness. Bilang marami pong kaso ang i-file sa kanya, kapag po ba siya ay nag-file, una, syempre, maapektuhan yung mga cases na yan. Hindi po ba yan magbibigay ng strong evidence towards her guilt kung siya po ay maging star witness dahil meron siyang impormasyon na pwedeng maibigay?
Sa mga pag-aaral namin at consult ako sa mga abogado at government lawyers natin, tama si Peter na dapat least guilty siya. Hindi ko kasi nakikitang least guilty siya dahil dun sa mga dokumento na nakita namin, siya yung nag-apply. In fact, siya yung nag-trigger para makapasok itong Pogo Hub sa Bamban. So, kaya parang nakikita ko na ang nakikita ko, siya yung nagbigay daan para makapasok itong Pogo Hub sa Bamban through her. Magaling siya magtagalog so siguro nakakausap niya itong mga local officials at nakita naman natin na marunong rin siya sa mga pasikot-sikot ng ating proseso. So nakapasok siya sa local government of Bamban at nakuha niya yung mga dokumento kaya nga nakapagpatayo ng ganitong kalaking pasilidad sa Bamban. So ang importante lang ay tuloy-tuloy yung pag-file ng kaso sa kanya para lumabasin yung information. No? Kasi importante na hindi lang siya yung ating makasuhan kung hindi yung iba pang nasa likod. Dahil naniniwala ako marami pang nasa likod nito eh. Siya ay isa lang sa mga sindikato na banggit ng PAOK. Of course, hindi nila masabi mga pangalan under investigation pa right now. Pero base doon sa mga information, isa lang siya sa maraming mga personalidad na sa likod nitong mga Pogo na nag-ooperate sa atin.
Opo. And if papayag po siya na or i-allow po siya na maging star witness, di po ba may nangyayari dyan na kapag pumayag sila, admission, magiging lesser crime o lesser offense ang ipapataw sa kanila? Will that also apply, Senator?
I have to consult yung mga government lawyers natin at iiwan ko sa kanila yan. Very technical yan and very legal, no? And of course, may mga complication na dapat rin tignan. Kasi ang daming kaso eh. Hindi lang natin pinag-uusapan yung human trafficking case. Pinag-uusapan na rin natin dito yung co-warranto case, tax evasion case pa dahil merong ino-audit ang BIR ngayon. Hindi ka mag-connect yung kita niya at saka yung kanyang lifestyle. Yung meron ding money laundering case dahil hindi niya dinideclare kung saan nagagaling yung pera. So maraming kasong ipapataw sa kanya. So dapat tingnan yung kabuuan kung ano yung magiging takbo ng kaso.
Senator Win, so July 10 daw magre-resume yung hearings on Pogo sa committee ni Senator Risa, no, and of which you're a big part of. Ang tanong ng marami, so meron na po bang whole departure order para kay Mayor Alice Go? Meron na, or watch list lang ba siya? Kasi baka biglang pagdating ng July 10, wala na siya.
Base doon sa disclosure ng Bureau of Immigration, last hearing, nandito pa siya sa Pilipinas at yung ibang mga personalidad nandito pa. Pero ang pagkaalam ko, nasa watchlist siya. Pero baka ma-upgrade into a whole departure order kasi may final ng kaso. So we have to get an update pa sa Bureau of Immigration kung ano yung status niya. But as of last hearing, nandito pa siya at meron siyang may watchlist na nakapataw sa kanya.
Two issues here. One, the not so curious case of Alice Go today that has been solved. Number two is the issue of Pogo itself. So let's start with Alice Go. What can be done with Alice Go given that the fingerprints as revealed by the NBI have shown that she is the same person as Go Hyun Ping? Am I right?
Go Huaping, yes.
Go Huaping.
Yes, one and the same person affixed both sets of fingerprints. The fingerprints of Guo Huaping in her passport, and as proven by the special investment resident visa filed by her mother, her seems to be known mother years ago, and her fingerprints in her NBI clearance. So in addition to the what can be done that government is already doing, for example, the case for qualified trafficking in persons, a non-bailable offense, if it is accepted by all of government that she filed her certificate of candidacy under false pretenses, then either one of the two processes outlined by COMELEC Chair Garcia in a previous hearing yet could get underway, and she can be removed as mayor. And depending on which process is used, either the vice mayor will replace her or the one who came in second in the mayoral race. Dagdag pa doon, pag umandar itong lahat ng mga kaso laban kay Mayor Alice Guo o si Guo Huaping, pwede siyang ma-deport. But even before she may be deported to whichever country she will be deported to, kailangan isa-serve muna niya yung sentence niya dito sa Pilipinas kung makonvict siya at masentensyahan sa alinman sa mga kasong nakahain na or ihahain pa sa kanya. Oh, and there's also a quo warranto case that the Office of the Solicitor General said they would soonest file against her.
Okay, what about her lying under oath? It's so interesting that it was actually the fingerprints that revealed her identity. So in the Senate, hindi daw niya maalala nung una kung sino nanay niya. Nung na-interview ko siya, kasambahay daw ang nanay niya. So it was a series of lies,
yes,
non-stop. Will she be penalized for lying under oath in the Senate?
Papunta na siya dyan for a different offense, which is not attending the hearings. Kasi hindi niya pinaunlakan yung imbitasyon namin in the last hearing. So the committee subpoenaed her, as well as the seem to be other members of her family, her known father, her known mother, 3 known siblings, and actually a quite long list of other personalities na inimbita namin at hindi sumipot. Kaugnay man nung Pogo Hub sa Bamban or kahit sa Porac, Pampanga. And pag hindi pa rin niya sinunod yung subpoena, then and as I warned her, I will cite her in contempt. At dapat alam niya, kapag na-cite siya in contempt, ay posible siyang ma-detain na sa Senado. Ubod na lang ng kortesiya on our part previously, Karen, dahil ang unang pagkakilala namin sa kanya ay kapwa manggagawa sa gobyerno na hindi pa siya earlier pa sinight in contempt. Talagang binigyan ng lahat ng palugi to tell the truth. But now, in the face of this incontrovertible evidence para siya itanggalin, yung galing sa NBI fingerprint matching, kailangan na talaga niyang sumipot at sumagot.
But clearly, she is a foreign national. She lied about her nationality, her ethnicity, and she ran against the law.
Yes, she apparently she or her father initially committed identity theft. Hindi lang dun sa kaso ng mga Pinay na inilista ng walang kamalay-malay bilang co-incorporators dun sa Pogo Hub sa Bamban. Pero Guo Huaping has been shown by the NBI to be not a Filipino national, sa pagka-paniwala namin isang Chinong national, anak ng dalawang Chinong magulang, nagkunwaring Pilipino para proteksyonan, isulong at proteksyonan ang Pogo at yung iba't ibang mga krimen na ginawa under cover of the Pogo.
Kasi actually deporting her would be favorable to her.
Right. Right, that's why tinanong ko sa DOJ kay Yusek T ng Interagency Council Against Trafficking, hindi siya makakakuha lang ng free pass, Karen, through a deportation to whichever country she'll be deported back to. Pag convict siya dito at pag nasentensyahan, she will have to serve her time here in the Philippines first.
Okay. Now, do you have information on where she is, Senator? Because this might end up to be another Apollo Kibuloy. Somebody in hiding.
Wag dapat So as far as we know, also from the Bureau of Immigration, hindi siya umaalis sa bansa mula nung ilabas nila yung Immigration Lookout Bulletin Order. Unfortunately, it seems na yung dalawang magulang niya ay una nang umalis bago i-issue yung ILBO. Pero as far as we know, Mayor Alice Guo or Guo Huaping and her siblings as well are still in the country. Kaya walang dahilan na hindi siya makasipot in person sa susunod na pagdinig.
Okay, so the other issue now is Pogo in general, the issues of Pogo. So it's been revealed that clearly, if there was narco politics, there is Pogo politics, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. Alice Go running to make sure she protects the interests of Pogo in Bamban, and now PAGCO revealing a former cabinet secretary lobbying for a Pogo license. Other politicians asking, please grant this license, please grant this license.
So mukhang yung web ng Pogo, the web it has cast over what you very correctly call Pogo politics, hindi lang malalim. Halimbawa dito sa kaso ng Bamban, seeming to have been laid, its plans been laid over many years, hindi lang biglaan. Pero malawak din itong web na ito. Aside from what I expect PAGCOR Chair Tenko to reveal in the next hearing, dahil inimbita na namin sila as well as former PAGCOR officials, inimbita na namin si Chair Tenko, and I fully expect him to reveal sino yung sinasabi niyang dating cabinet official o iba pa na kumbaga nagpapadrino para dito sa mga Pogo na ito. This Pogo and Pogo politics web is also wide in the sense that lumalabas na sa mga hearing namin, hindi standalone Pogo operation yung sa Bamban. Apparently, it also has links with the Pogo hub also raided by PAOK in Porac, Pampanga. At yung interlocking directorate doon, yung unang lumalabas na facilitator noon, si Dennis Cunanan, na dating TLRC official at may conviction para sa corruption. And yung pinaka-recent na raid ng PAOK sa Pogo Hub, doon naman sa Sun Valley Clark. Grabe, mukhang may interlocking directorate din doon. So, di ba, how deep and how far does this web of Pogos and Pogo politics go? Chair Tenko has to reveal that important piece of information.
Okay, but Senator, don't you think that number one, the real reason why government officials are lobbying for the granting of the license of certain Pogo operators is, let's be honest, Pogo is legal in the Philippines, a government agency granting the license. So therefore, these government officials feel, hindi naman illegal to Legal naman to sa gobyerno Diba?
And it was Duterte who set the first bad example about that. Dahil panahon ng administrasyon niya, practically open door policy sa Pogo at sa kanyang mga kasosyo noon sa Pogo. And yes, nabigyan ng mandato ang PAGCOR mag-issue ng mga licenses para sa Pogo na iyan. Ngayon, they are changing the instrument. May IGL na daw silang i-issue, internet gaming license. Pero teka muna, pumreno muna sila at lahat din ng mga nagfa-facilitate ng Pogo dahil pinakita ng several Senate investigations by several Senate committees, pati ng Senate Committee on Women nitong nakaraang 4 na taon, na lahat ng mga rosy promises ng Pogo sa simula napako. Ang laki ng pagkakautang pa nila sa buwis sa gobyerno, and it has spawned, talagang spawned, a host of evils against our citizens and our society. So, kaya tigilin na rin yung pag-distinguish di umano sa mga legal pogo daw at sa mga illegal, right? Kasi kahit yung mga so-called legal pogo, nanganganak ng napakaraming illegal, no? So, that takes away the reason or the excuse for anyone, past or present in government, to sponsor this vile industry na mukha talagang sobrang interconnected sa mga criminal syndicates pa.
Oo. So, let's talk about Pogo itself. Bamban.
Yes.
Zunyuan Technologies, technically, there were 2 Pogo hubs there. Am I right? Or only one?
Just one, pero dati ang pangalan niya ay Hongsheng. Unang na-raid last year, they simply apparently changed their names and continued operating in defiance of the suspension by PAGCOR of the license of Hongsheng. So, parang same dog, new collar, naging Zunyuan lang siya.
Oo. So, for example, that Pogo in Bamban, it was granted a license. That Pogo in Porac, Lucky South 99, it was granted a license. Simply because, one, in Porac, you have 46 structures. Alam nga naman, gumastos sila. Magtayo ng napakaraming buildings na walang lisensya ng PAGCOR. Ang tanong ko, what about PAGCOR's responsibility? Is it just about granting a license? Is PAGCOR tasked to monitor, to visit, to check the operations?
Definitely. Kaya tama sang-ayon ako kay Sen. Sherwin, hindi pa off the hook ang PAGCOR dito. Hindi niya pwedeng sabihin, titingnan lang niya yung 4 corners of the documents. Yeah. No. Bawa sa kaso ng Bamban, even Mayor Alice Guo or Guo Huaping as mayor, may inisyu siyang mayor's permit, sabi niya, para sa 3 floors ng Pogo operation. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors daw ng isang building. So don't tell me, during her watch, don't tell me under the eyes of PAGCOR na nag-issue ng original na license, hindi nila pareho napansin na it was all floors of many buildings at hindi lamang 3 floors of one na nag-ooperate ng Pogo. O in the case of PAGCOR, dun mismo sa Bamban, meron silang mga 4 na on-site representatives na dapat nag-i-inspect. Anong ginagawa nila all that time? Supposedly, if I remember dun sa investigasyon namin sa Pogo Hub sa Pasay, supposedly twice a month nag-i-inspect sila. So ano nangyari? Don't tell me hindi nila nakita lahat ng Pogo at lahat ng mga krimen laban mismo sa mga nagtatrabaho doon. All the time the Pogo Hub was operating in Bamban. And kahit yung pinoint out ito ni Sen. Sherwin, kahit yung bona fides na mga inilistang co-incorporators, sina kawawang Merly Ocampo at yung tatlo pang Pilipina, Merly Joy Castro, and yung tatlo pang Pilipinang apparently without their knowledge inilista bilang Filipino incorporators nung Hongsheng Gaming Technology original. Sabi ni Miss Merly, siya ay dating nagbebenta ng pagkain sa palengke ng Concepcion Tarlac. Naging BPO worker siya at ngayon naglalako ulit. At yung 3 babaeng yon na nakalista rin, mga nakikita lang niya sa palengke din nagbebenta ng gulay or agahan, inihaw na manok. So, hindi ba chinek ng PAGCOR yan? Pinapuntahan pa nga ni Sen. Sherwin yung staff niya sa mga addresses ng mga taong iyon. Wow, Karen, yung mga bahay nila sobrang payak, simple, hindi talaga bahay ng mga Pogo operators. So, PAGCOR has a lot to ask for in addition to yung identity ng dating cabinet official na binanggit ni Chair Tenco.
Oo. So it appears that in a way, PAGCOR is negligent, remiss, and really just giving off licenses to Chinese nationals that they probably know, but not checking the incorporators. There was no physical or face-to-face meet-up with any of them.
Possibly no real, what you call that, due diligence on the identities and bona fides, not only of the co-incorporators, but the main, like the members of the board and the officials. Dapat nakita nila itong si Mayor Alice Guo or Guo Huaping. At yung mga ibang kasosyo niya, Karen, 2 who are now the main suspects in the biggest money laundering case in Singapore. And another one, Huang Ziyang, the only one Mayor Alice Guo or Guo Huaping admitted knowing personally and dealing with. Ano pala, pugante sa China. He's wanted for cases there. And nakatakas lang siya sa pag-aresto ng PAOK nung huling raid sa Zunyuan. So, who are these people she's dealing with? Who are these people PAGCOR was dealing with?
Yeah. Another issue, for example, Lucky South 99 in Porac, Pampanga, a 10-hectare Pogo compound. PAGCOR claims that their license was, I think, revoked. Was it 2023, Senator?
That's the case for Bamban, so possibly also for Porac.
Pero ang tanong, itong Porac, they kept operating. So, doesn't PAGCOR send people there to check if they're operating? Nung tinanggalan ng lisensya, didn't PAGCOR contact the PNP? Ano na yan? Ikandado na yan? I mean, is PAGCOR just issuing, for example, a document, revoke ka na pero wala na? That's it.
In fact, PAGCOR told us in a previous hearing na in total, they had issued 200 plus POGO licenses before. They had suspended 190 plus, pero hindi nila masabi ilan doon ay sumunod talaga. At ilan ay dinedma lang yung suspension, nagpatuloy. Tulad niyang Hongsheng, nag-rename na lang na Zunyuan, tumuloy, walang pake sa suspension ng PAGCOR. And speaking of the PNP, in fact, it was the PNP, Municipal Police Chief first and then the Provincial PNP, who twice, last year and this year, requested that there be an inspection by the LGU of the Pogo Hub in Porac, Pampanga. So kung bakit hindi yan nagawa o hindi yan ginawa, well, we've started asking questions about that in the hearing at itutuloy namin sa susunod.
And I don't know, I hope we can show some of the videos, but our reporter Zian Ambrosio was able to get torture videos of different employees, Chinese nationals. Considering the xenophobia to some degree that's going on, you realize that the Chinese nationals themselves are victims too, right? So there's a video, I don't know if we can show them, but I know they're blurred, of a woman who was naked, nakatali, tapos torture another man with a baseball bat, paulit-ulit, binubugbog.
Grabe. Sabi nga ng PAOK, horrific yung mga testimony ng mga Chino din na biktima ng torture and probably of human trafficking as well doon sa Porac. Horrific yung mga videos kasi yung mga torturers daw in whose quarters were found many torture instruments. May videos sila ng mga biktima nila sa mga cellphone nila na parang pinagyayabang pa nila itong pag-torture. And indeed, this is not at all about xenophobia or racism kasi nga daan-daang mga Chino din ang binibiktima sa mga Pogo Hubs nito. Nire-rescue din ng PAOK, tinutulungan din naming lahat na makaalis sa ganyang horrific nga na sitwasyon. And I recall, Karen, dyan sa Porac, sa Pampanga, may misteryoso pa rin, and this was pointed out by the previous chief of police. Apparently may tinapon doon na siyam na tao, patay na sila, mga dayuhan in Porac. Supposedly hindi daw taga ron, supposedly hindi daw galing doon sa Lucky Star 99, pero naitatanong talaga saan sila galing at galing ba sila dun sa Pogo Hub? Because if you put 2 and 2 together, itong mga horrific na torture, and the naked woman, there was also a naked woman na in-upload ang video at photos niya, binibenta siya in prostitution. So alam mo, these crimes and suspected crimes, hindi unreasonable isipin lahat ba yan tied sa Pogo Hub at sa Pogo in general. So it's Pogo politics and it's Pogo crime probably.
Yeah, and the irony is the very thing that we don't want our OFWs to suffer, right?
Exactly.
We are upset as a country when an OFW is tortured, right? Right, beaten to death. The passport is withheld. As a country, we're against it. And it's being tolerated and happening in our own country to other nationals.
Kasi nga mukhang ang Pogos are so intricately tied in with human trafficking and both ways. Noon, ang iniimbestiga namin human trafficking ng mga Pinay at Pinoy palabas kung saan nilalabag yung mga karapatan nila. And here we see, there is also inbound human trafficking. Ilang iba't ibang dayuhang national ay na-rescue na sa mga Pogo Hub. Mga Chino, Vietnamese, Malaysian, may nakilala kong isang Middle Eastern na babae, may Eastern European na mga babae. So, bad news talaga for those trying to diminish and eliminate human trafficking dahil ang Pogo Hub nagiging hub ng iba't ibang krimen pati nito human trafficking.
And actually the Pogo Hub is using its legal cover, its license to do illegal things. Ang tatlo, Senator, no? So, for example, you have Bamban at 7.5 hectares, you have Porac at 10 hectares, Island Cove is at 13 hectares. So, that is the largest Pogo compound in the Philippines. And the PAOK has said they've never entered Island Cove.
Right.
Apparently, a lot of these Pogo hubs and Pogo offices or businesses, they are unable to enter. They were only able to enter these two hubs because of an arrest, a search warrant granted by the court. Pero on a regular day, they cannot just come in, monitor, check, etc.
And that's why yung parang exemption ng mga Pogo Hubs pati tulad sa Porac, yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, sa entry and inspection of duly constituted authorities, isa pa sa maraming dahilan na overall, even beyond this particular investigation, nanawagan na ang Senado through a committee report of the Senate Committee on Economic Affairs under its previous chair, Sen. Sherwin, and I signed that committee report. Palayasin na ang Pogos within 3 months. That was the recommendation of that committee report. And I assure you, Karen, pag natapos na namin itong investigasyon na isulat ang committee report ng Committee on Women Against Pogos, number 1 recommendation din, palayasin na ang Pogo. Even before that, I've called on the President a few times and the National Security Council, pag-usapan na ninyo yung tanong, are Pogos a threat to national security? And if so, the Executive and the Chief Executive is the quickest office which can act on kicking out the Pogos. Yung isang mabuting balita ay yung PAOK will be giving a briefing to the NSC. So sana katulad sa amin sa Senado, makumbinse din ang NSC at ang presidente mismo palayasin na ang Pogo. If and when that happens, Karen, kahit saang bahagi ng Pilipinas, kahit sa sino-sino pa ang sinasabing konektado dyan, mapapaalis ang Pogo at dapat lang.
So 2 questions on this before we go to a commercial break. Why do you think is the president silent on Pogo? Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Considering PAGCOR Chair Al Tenco reported, I believe it was in the Senate, that Pogo revenues 2023 only amounted to 5 billion. Meaning it's not so dramatic, right?
No, not at all.
We're not talking about 100 billion pesos here of revenues where you could lose sleep. This is 5 billion pesos collected from Pogo last year. Yun lang na-kolekta. What do you think is the factor? Considering you have the president who's a staunch advocate of the West Philippine Sea, right? He stands against China's bullying on the West Philippine Sea. But with Pogo, why isn't the president speaking?
I really don't know what he's waiting for, Karen. Yun na nga, PAGCOR mismo nagsabi, 5 bilyong piso lamang sa napakaraming rosy promises nila noon. Ang laki ng utang nila sa buwis. And then when you put into the balance all the social and now political costs of POGO, sobrang halos wala ng benefit, panay cost sa Pilipinas. So, yeah, you're right kung unequivocally kaya niyang mag-push back sa China on the West Philippine Sea issues, bakit parang nagfo-foot dragging dito sa POGO? Okay, kung merong timing siyang hinihintay or meron pa siyang tinitimbang, pero ilang Senate committee investigations na ang ginawa. Dati yung committees on labor at saka economic affairs, at ngayon patapos itong 4 na taong investigasyon ng Committee on Women about POGO-related prostitution, illegal recruitment and detention, the Pastilla scam, at ngayon itong human trafficking, cyber scamming, money laundering, at yung posibleng espionage angle, tapos yung pagbebenta, pag-commodify ng Filipino citizenship. So ano bang iniintay ni Presidente? I really hope he will speak sooner than later decisively against POGOs, kasi it's a clear and present danger na nahahayaang mag-persist dito sa ating kalagitnaan.
You saw in that press conference, former President Duterte said he knew where Apollo Kibuloy was hiding. He said he knew. Does that break the law? Is that complicity? I mean, Apollo Kibuloy is a fugitive. Authorities are looking and hunting him down. And here's a former president to say, I know where he's hiding, but I won't cooperate.
A former president na abogado pa, Karen. Karaniwang mamamayan nga, alam mong may warrant yung tao, tapos tinatago mo. That's some kind of complicity, it seems.
Now, it is if I'm just curious because you do have colleagues as well. Ironically, tolerating Apollo Kibuloy hiding from the law, right?
Well, I don't know if like Duterte, they know where he is, pero at least wala naman sa mga colleagues ko nagsasabing sinisikreto ko kahit alam ko. Iba talaga si Duterte. And sooner or later, one of the 3 warrants will catch up with Kibuloy. Sooner or later, yung umaandar na 4 na kaso sa US will catch up with him. Pag nailagay pa siya sa red list ng Interpol, hindi lang iisa na law enforcement authority ang hahabol sa kanya.
Okay, now let's move on to the announcement of former Vice President Sara Duterte saying essentially that 3 Dutertes will be running for the Senate. What was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was, di ko natiis Nag-post tuloy ako ng, parang ganon. Nag-post tuloy ako ng photo, ng selfie na, ito ang 3 ko.
Okay, alright.
Pero ganyan sila Pinaglalaroan talaga yung utak natin. So, beyond what they say, and parang may sayaw, di ba? One will say something, the other one will say another thing. Beyond what they say, ang obserbahin natin at intindihin what they do.
But then technically speaking, I mean, we've discussed this, I think, many years ago. Aren't they able to do this because there are really family members sitting in the Senate? I mean, I actually raised the alarm during the very first time, which was former First Lady Loy Ejercito and Jinggoy Estrada sitting together. That was all, because there are only 24 senators, and there are so many Filipinos who can take that seat, right? But you have right now 2 Villars, you have 2 Ejercitos or Estradas, and then at one point there were going to be 2 Binays, except Jejomar didn't make it. 2 Cayetanos. So if you're a Duterte, you're saying, well, di naman bago to. Tagdadalawa na nga, nakaupo na dyan.
And well, ang mga Duterte naman, matagal nang nagtayo ng sariling dynasty sa Davao City hanggang sa bansa, hanggang sa House, hanggang sa Office of the Vice President ngayon. At talagang, and I do remember, Karen, we talked about this years ago even.
Years ago.
Almost 40 years yung utos ng konstitusyon sa atin to pass an anti-dynasty law. Unfortunately, human psychology, nobody legislates against interest, at sa ating Kongreso, overrepresented talaga yung mga dynasties. Hats off sa ating mga kabataan at estudyante because it's only they, through the SK, Reform and Empowerment Law, who have a law na may anti-dynasty provision. So, pero vicious cycle ito eh. Yeah. Habang meron overrepresented ang mga dynasties sa ating gobyerno, when will government ever obey the Constitution and pass an anti-dynasty law? So we have to approach and attack the problem from different vantage points and tignan kung saan tayo magkaroon ng crack sa wall na iyan.
Oh, all right. Now, moving on to the change of leadership in the Senate. I mean, I know you are with a minority, but at one point you had some members of the majority, the leadership, who were thinking of joining the minority. What did you think of that?
Well, that happened, no, yung change sa Senate leadership just before we adjourned. And kami nung minority leader ko, si Sen Coco, we abstained kasi yun talaga yung unequivocal signal namin na gusto naming manatiling minority to fiscalize and to check and balance. And over this magiging 2-month adjournment, ayun, nakarinig nga kami ng iba't ibang pag-iisip or pag-consider ng plano ng iba't ibang grupo sa loob ng majority, including that early possibility na yung bahagi ng dating leadership were considering joining us in the minority. Pero I think I read just very recently na mananatili sila sa majority. That won't be new for the Senate. Maaring may supermajority pa rin, pero within that, iba't ibang bloke, no, which are also checking and balancing each other. So, excited akong mag-resume ng session sa 22 nitong buwan, and for sure, Sen Coco and I will continue our role as the minority.
Okay. Is it, at one point, Attorney Harry Roque said, with Vice President Sara's resignation in the cabinet, she is the new opposition.
Oh, medyo, di ba may stunned silence? Hindi, biro lang. Ang opposition, ibig sabihin, tinututulan mo at gusto mong baguhin yung sistema. Hindi yung isang paksyon ka lang sa administrasyon.
Or a power block. Or you're a different power block.
Yeah, if you're just a different power block, but you just want to get back into the saddle at gusto mong ikaw ang magkokontrol sa levers ng kasalukuyang sistema, hindi mo naman binago noon, siguradong hindi mo babaguhin sa future, hindi ka oposisyon. Hindi yan ang definition, hindi yan ang nature ng oposisyon.
Okay, let's talk about the Liberal Party. I did ask Attorney Laila De Lima about this. Is the Liberal Party, has it passed its time? I wanted to ask that because you have Vice President Leni Robredo, the former Vice President. When she ran for president, she ran as an independent, right? And then I don't know if she runs for Naga as mayor, if she's running under LP. But Bam Aquino is an interesting case. He's running for the Senate but not under LP. So nakakatulong pa bang tumakbo under LP or dapat bagong partido na ng oposisyon?
Well, I can't speak for LP, Karen, kasi akbayan ako. Bagamat coalition partners kami sa LP, 2009 pa. At sa ilan pang mga partido na ngayon ay nasa oposisyon or wala sa administrasyon. Sen Laila is the best to speak for LP because she is their party spokesperson. But as I understand it, for example, in the case of Sen Bam, he formed a new party and he told the public, I think also here on your show in an interview with you, it's a new party of younger politicians. So a very important demographic in our society and electorate. Sa akin, kung ano man yung desisyon ng bawat dating mambabatas or long-standing or mga bagong partido, ang importante, and this is what I've been working on with them in the past 2 years, ang importante sana ay to come up with fresh and really alternative offers to our kababayan and to our voters sa midterms next year at sa general elections ulit in 2028. So, syempre ako bilang partidista, bilang founding member ng Akbayan and Akbayan Forever, tingin ko laging may halaga, may ambag ang mga partido. It's a challenge, especially nga with that younger demographic, no? Young people, pati Gen Z, they're not as in love with parties as my generation is. So we have to find new forms of organization and education and mobilization kahit sa eleksyon na makaka-attract dyan sa malaki at influential na demographic na yan.
So my last question is, because by 2028, the opposition has to field a presidential candidate, and most likely you're in coalition with the Liberal Party. You'll probably have other groups wanting to, to join the opposition coalition, but probably LP will take the lead, most likely, right? Well, for now, who knows if something bigger comes up in the next few years, but there are talks, you have some sectors I've been hearing who want you to run for president in 2028 for the opposition. Are you considering running?
I'm not considering running yet, but what I am 100% considering is that the opposition will run candidates for president, vice president, and across the line. Yun yung tinatrabaho ko the last 2 years, and we will continue to work on it until next year sa midterms and the next 4 years until 2028. Patuloy kaming magpapalakas para by 2027 pwede kaming mag-usap, okay, sino-sino ang itatakbo natin para sa aling-aling posisyon. And by then, we should be in that position of strength na seseryosohin, hindi lamang ng administrasyon, pero seseryosohin ng ating mga kababayan at ng ating mga botante, whether be opposition or independent, anumang pangalan ang gagamitin namin. But we will be something different and something better para sa ating mga kababayan. Yun yung ma-assure ko sa'yo 100%, Karen.
All right. So if you're gonna make the announcement, we have to hear that.
Yes, of course. Soon we will announce yung mga susuportahan naming kandidato para sa Senado next year. And
pero wala na kayong i-field. I'm curious.
Well, I'm still hoping.
Wala na.
I'm still hoping.
Wala na i-field. You'll just support.
Of course, field and support, ibig sabihin.
Okay.
So yes, so we will announce this year yung mga kandidato namin for next year, and by 2027, I intend that we make an important announcement for 2028.
Okay. Do you have a few names at least? I mean, of course, Shell Diokno, you have Bam Aquino, those are obvious. Laila De Lima isn't running, she said. But do you have, she might, for the Senate?
Well, alam mo, si Laila, unique position niya ngayon is sui generis. Whatever she decides, tuloy yung pursuit of justice para sa EJK victims at sarili din niya, or takbo, winner si Laila.
Okay, my last one. What about Leni Robredo? You know, some have said she should run for the Senate, but at one point she mentioned because she might do mayor.
Well, again, just like Laila, ano man ang maging desisyon ni Leni, ni former VP Leni, winner siya, and she will remain an important part of our political scene next year and all the way up to 2028. So bahagi ng ng malawak na oposisyon.
On that note, Senator Risa Ontiveros, thank you for joining me today. Thank you, ma'am.
Para sa iba pang karagdagang mga balita at impormasyon, ay huwag po nating kalimutang mag-like, share at comment sa video na ito, at huwag po rin nating kalimutang mag-subscribe to continue supporting us. Maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood, At naway tangkilikin po ninyo ang aming YouTube channel.